We are here at last. Welcome to the Sage Goddess 2017 Yule ritual. Happy winter solstice. I hope that the turning of the great wheel from fall to winter here in the Northern Hemisphere is a source of great blessing for you. This is the season of the collective sigh of relief because you are here, we are here, you are here. You've made it. All of the challenges, all of the struggles of 2017, all of the blessings and all of the losses of 2017, all of the things that you have built, and all of the dreams that you have dreamed into reality have been with you, have come to pass. You know, it's interesting when you stop and take a breath, and Yule is always the time for this for me. It's interesting when you stop and take a breath and you look at your life. Look at all the things that you have right now. Look at the people around you. Everything you have right now was once a wish. Do you think about that? You know, at Christmas, it's this season, right, of Santa and children and talking about, wishes and dreams and gifts. And, for me, the way I anchor all of that in a less material way is I think about all of the desires and the wishes and the intentions that I have set and how many of those have been gifted to me by my guides and ancestors, and how long I've had to wait on faith for so many of those things. The biggest intentions take the longest to manifest. And I always say, manifestation is really tricky for people because it requires faith over time. You can't just light a candle one time and say, well, I lit the candle, but I didn't manifest anything. That's not manifestation. True manifestation is setting an intention for something that you desire and standing so firmly in your faith, even in the face of people telling you your dream's impossible or major obstacles coming that are almost impossible to overcome. Like when those moments happen, that's how you know you're in the crucible. That's how you know you're in the cauldron. And the universe is waiting on you to say, I believe, and I trust, and I surrender, and I'm grateful. And so I want you to take a moment right now on this Yule evening as we prepare to wrap the thick blankets of winter around us. I want you to take a moment right now and give thanks for all of the many ways that you have been blessed this year. And sometimes blessings don't look like blessings. Isn't that true? Sometimes the biggest challenges in life are actually the source of our deepest blessings. And sometimes when we don't get something that we wanted, especially right when we wanted it, it's because the universe knew better. And so I have learned to trust the universe on such a grand level. I surrender all to the universe because the universe has always taken care of me. And so I know I don't have to force the river. I don't have to turn the wheel myself. The wheel will turn. My job is to stay focused and to stay grateful. And I think that's your job too. And that's the root of happiness and peace. I have happiness and peace in my life, and I wish the same for you. And if you don't have those things right now, this is the season to set the intention for that. There is a river of peace that wants you to float down along with it. And so if you're ready to step into that river of peace, tonight is the night for you. So I want to tell you what tools I'm using for our beautiful Yule ritual. I'm actually using both sets that I have offered you in the last couple of weeks. So I have our traditional Yule set, so beautiful, with our Yule goddess on the front. And I have our beautiful selenite piece with our sacred star. And I want you to notice the detail. We put the pine cone in the center of the star, right? The star, of course, is so central to the Christian narrative at this time of year, as well as the pagan narrative throughout the year. The star represents the 4 cardinal elements plus spirit, right? And in the center of all that, we put the pine cone, which actually gets its name from the pineal gland in your brain, which is your third eye. That's the part of your brain that is your inner knowing. And so that's what we activate now. When we turn within, and you hear people like me say it all the time, winter is the season of turning within. And if you've ever asked yourself why that is, it's because you can't really channel and develop and cultivate your inner wisdom while your focus is external. Summer and spring are really fun seasons for seeing what you can create, seeing how fast your fruit can grow and how fast your flowers can bloom, right? Like it's growth, 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 growth. And that has its own magic. It has its own season. It has its own direction. It has its own gemstones, its own essential oils. It has its own tools. That is not the medicine of winter. Winter is the season of turning within and fertilizing your inner garden. Turning within and asking yourself, Where do I still need to do work? Where do I need clarity within? Where do I need peace? Where do I need to anchor peace within? And then once you do the heavy but beautiful work of winter, and you've resolved all of your own internal issues, you've looked at everything, you've integrated the wisdom, you have embodied the lessons of the year. Once you've done all of that, then, come spring, you're able to turn your energy outward and begin to create and cultivate your outer garden. And that's its own separate magical work, right? That's its own beautiful energy, that outer garden that you cultivate. But your inner garden needs the work and the focus first. And that's what we're doing tonight with this beautiful Yule ritual. We are turning the fire within, and we're wrapping ourselves in the thick blankets of rest and protection and reflection and love and comfort and peace, because that's the medicine of winter. We have so many gemstones that I have offered you as different tools to work with. Maybe it's green apophyllite that's calling to you, or indigo agate. These are from the Silent Night kit, or your amethyst or your petalite. And then it might be the other tools from your Yule kit. It might be your azurite. I'm feeling really called to work with this one tonight. This is your azurite from your Yule toolkit, so I'm going to be working with that one for sure. The other stones, of course, that we gave you were your selenite, which you can work with as well. And then you have your dioptase. Did you love this one? This is the Congo Emerald. And they call it that because it looks like an emerald, doesn't it? It's naturally that color. This is a master healer, especially of karmic energy. So I'm going to be working with that one too. And then the other stones you might choose to work with, your natural chrysocolla, which was in your set. You have your scolecite cube, and I'm being called to work with my scolecite cube tonight, so I'm going to work with that. And again, I'm crossing two kits, and so you can choose to work with just the stones from the Yule kit, just the stones from the Silent Night kit, or both, okay? And then I am working with our Yule perfume. Did you love it? One of the main ingredients in the Yule perfume is narcissus essential oil, and it's one of my absolute favorites because narcissus is the essential oil of reflection. It also brings inner peace, and it brings hope. And then there's bay essential oil in the Yule perfume. And so bay is a source of blessing and luck and manifestation, so that's all in there. And then lemon, which is a purifier, a detoxifier. So it's all about bringing up what needs to be released, cleansing it, clearing it, purifying it, and then allowing your gaze to turn within. So I've got my Yule perfume, I've got my stones, I've got my candle. And the image, if you're a visual learner, one of the reasons I give you the art for our different rituals is this gives you a way of imagining the energy that we're talking about tonight. She is our Yule goddess, and she is holding the four directions and her own inner wisdom in her hands. Do you see it? Looking down so gracefully as she sets the intention to become more present to her intuition. And so the invocation on the art, in case you don't have it, I'd love to read it to you. I invoke the sacred power of enhanced connection, lost throughout centuries. I seek to unlock my intuition as a spiritual seeker to awaken truth and possibility far beyond our mystical universe. Amen, aho. And so it is. Isn't that beautiful? I love that so much. Okay, I'm going to smudge a little bit because it's a high holiday, y'all, and we need to clear out some energy. You must always, always, always clear energy before you do ritual. I try to teach you the good ways, right, the traditional ceremonial process, and it might seem redundant because I always open a circle, I always smudge, I always call the directions, I always close a circle, I always release the directions. It might seem kind of redundant sometimes, but ceremony has to be consistent. There's a reason that we have every step that we follow. So first I'm going to receive. I'm just asking my guides to send into the smoke any energy that is no longer serving me, doesn't need to be attached to me, or doesn't belong to me. And then I'm going to send it to you, asking your guides to release any energy from you that does not belong to you, is not serving you, no longer needs to be attached to you at this time, whatever that might be. And we release it into the smoke with gratitude. Amen, aho, and so it is. Nothing like a good smudge, I'll tell you. Whatever's happening, it shifts it. I love introducing people to smudge, by the way. If you ever want to, if you ever ask yourself, how do I start to talk to my friends about what I love, about magic and ritual, or how do I start to talk to my family about it? Smudge is kind of universal, and people want to know how to do it. A lot of times people don't ask about smudging because they don't want to seem like they don't know. And so that's one way you can be a good teacher, by sharing what you've learned and then teaching people some quick tips about how to release energy or clear energy. They would be so grateful for your wisdom if you can share it. So good. That's why we're here, to learn these things, to practice these things, and to share these things, right? Okay. So on this sacred night, I want you to call your energy into present time as we say farewell to the energy of fall. It's a sad farewell, right? It's the goodbye to the harvest. It's a thank you for all the beautiful crops that grew so beautifully this year. It's a farewell to the crops that didn't make it. And I'm talking literally and figuratively, right? It's a farewell to anything that couldn't make it with you to the end of the year. So let's just take a moment and give thanks as we do the good work of releasing the past season. And then take a moment to open the aperture a little bit. Let's release the energy of the year, shall we? We're almost there. So take a moment just to reflect upon what has not been able to come with you now to the conclusion of 2017. It's really important to let those energies stay here, not to carry that loss with you into the new year. Mourn it. And this is what we learned from our ancestors. They mourn, they grieve, they release, they do ceremony, they give thanks, and they let go. And that's how you go forward. You have to do the good work of mourning and giving thanks and releasing and letting go, so that you're not carrying all of that energy with you into what is really a blank slate the year ahead. We have an 11 year in 2018. That's a master number. This is a manifestation year for you. Don't bring anything into this new year if it's not going to serve the higher purpose of your creation. Truly, let anything go. If you can do it tonight during our ritual, what a beautiful, if that's what you got out of tonight, I would feel like this was so worth your time. If you could really just, whatever's bothering you, set it down tonight. Let it go. Leave it in fall. Don't bring it into winter. Nothing in the winter should disturb your peace. This is your season of peace. And think about what peace means to you. You know, like sometimes at Yule, I love to imagine, you know how quiet it gets when it snows? You know, that just that utter silence? It's magical. Or the way snow glows, right? How it looks illuminated from within. Like that silence is the peace that I'm talking about. It's the peace of not having anxiety or worry, trusting that everything is unfolding in perfect time. There's that beautiful saying, you know, always believe that the universe is conspiring in your favor. At Yule is a really important time to do that. It's a very, very, very important time to do that. Okay, so I'm going to open our beautiful circle. So excited to do that. Open this gorgeous container. I'm going to light my Yule candle. You can light your silent night candle too if you want. I'm just going to light the Yule candle for right now. And as you light your candle, always remember you're calling in the element of fire. So we welcome the guardians of the Southern Gateway when we light our candle. And that's why working with sacred tools, I've been telling you this a lot lately, just because we've got a lot of new people in the community who say, why do we work with gemstones and oils and perfumes? And it's because they hold the 4 cardinal directional energies. When you light your candle, you're activating the element of fire. There it is. When you work with your sacred perfumes to anoint, I'm going to anoint with Yule right now. For reflection, that narcissus drives me crazy. It's an aphrodisiac too. A little bit on your wrist for what you do, touch at your third eye for what you know, a little bit at your ankles for where you go. That's how I anoint. When you work with your perfumes, you activate the element of water. So you're activating fire for courage and strength and passion. You're activating water for emotional depth and connection. When you work with your crystals, and these are the ones that I'm working with tonight, you are activating element earth, right? The crystal people live in the northern quadrant of the medicine wheel. And then when you blow out your candle, you activate the element of air. And so that's how your sacred tools actually come to represent the 4 cardinal elements and directions on your altar. So if you ever forget to call the directions, you have them anchored in your tools. It's best if you remember to call them, and if you call them, you must always release them. Okay, so I've got my tools ready, my candle's lit, got my stones. You got everything you need. I have tea. I have to have tea at Yule. All the warm spices just warm you from within. And self-care in wintertime looks different, doesn't it? On Yule evening, I love to make tea or spiced cider, one of my favorite recipes. And if you want to do this, it's so super easy. You probably have the ingredients in your home. You just need cinnamon sticks and a couple of oranges and a few whole cloves. And you can make this with apple cider. You can make it with beautiful Cabernet wine. It's almost like a mulled cider or a mulled wine. And when you simmer those fruits and spices in your cider or in your wine, it will make your whole house smell like Yule, like spice and warmth and cinnamon and orange. All of those herbs also bring prosperity. So in ancient times, they would simmer those herbs in their house to attract spirits of prosperity and abundance for the new year, which I think is really neat too. On top of all of that, that is a very traditional Yule beverage. And so drinking your spice cider will sort of get you in the holiday mood as well. Okay, so I want you to roll your shoulders back, bring your energy fully into present time. Take a nice deep cleansing breath. And as always, with your hands, with your palms facing up, I want you to imagine the most beautiful beam of white light, light of divine love and light. I want you to imagine holding it in your left hand. And that beam of light will extend out of your left hand around our circle, gathering live tonight and as many times as anyone will watch this going forward. They could be watching a year or two from now. So we send love around the circle to anyone who's watching at any time. Knowing that time is not linear, right? That's the lesson of 5D and 6D reality. Time is not linear. So I think whenever you're watching, you're right on time. And when that beautiful beam of light comes back to you in your right hand, you'll be holding the energy of this beautiful circle with me. And I love that you are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your Yule with me. I appreciate it. Okay. And guardians of the Eastern Gateway, we begin with you always. We welcome you and your service to our circle tonight as we engage this new beginning of a new season, as we come to the conclusion of a year, which also presents us with a new beginning, a new possibility, a new birth. Thank you for being with us, guardians of the East. We recognize you and your air element energy and the beautiful ways in which you invoke and welcome movement and breath into our life. And it's fun sometimes to embody the elements. If you want to really feel what air feels like, just fill your lungs with air. Take the deepest possible inhale, and then on that exhale, just let the air out slowly but completely. That is the most important way that you can embody the element of air. So let's do it together. You ready? Nice deep inhale. And then a really deep, slow exhale. That's air magic right there. And then turning to the direction of south, Southern Gateway, and the guardians of that sacred gateway, we invite you and welcome you into our circle tonight. So grateful for the courage that you brought us all year long, and for the strength, the passion, stamina, the laughter, the play. All of that sits in the direction of south. And if you want to embody the south for a moment, I want you to imagine filling your spirit with the brightest blazing fire. Just imagine flames within and without, just burning and glowing from your fingertips, from the top of your head, from the bottoms of your feet, just fire. Your hands might even start to feel warm as you do it. And that is the deepest embodiment of the element of fire, direction of south. We're so grateful for those guardians and their presence. Direction of west, we thank you for the sweet emotions that we have experienced this year. We thank you for the tears that we've shed, because we know that our tears are a source of divine purification. And so even though those moments are sad, we also understand that they are necessary. It's important to cry. Never stop yourself from crying. It's your body trying to purify itself. Don't interrupt that process. When my children were little and people would tell them to stop crying, I would get very upset. And I would say, you can't tell my child to stop crying. They're purifying. It may look like a tantrum to you, but it's a purification. So how do you embody the West? You know what I like to do? Imagine the most beautiful swimming pool, or if you prefer, just the open ocean, and imagine letting yourself lay back and float. When you're stressed, there's nothing better than just imagining yourself on your back, floating effortlessly in the most beautiful open body of crystal clear blue water. Then let yourself float for a minute. When you stop struggling, you will float. That is truth. That is law. When you stop struggling, you'll float. So stop struggling. Let that be an intention that you set tonight at Yule. You're not going to struggle anymore. You're not going to try and push the river. You're not going to try and swim so hard upstream. You're going to stretch your arms out, goddess-like, and let yourself just float on the water. Here's the big secret of life. Are you ready? The outcome won't be different either way. You're going to get where you're going, whether you claw your way there or float your way there. What would you rather do? And I'll tell you, when you watch how people age, this is really, really true. When you watch how people age, they either age gracefully and sort of effortlessly and beautifully because they're floating. They're not trying to, doggy paddle their way through life. They're not constantly just trying to survive. When people struggle and insist on struggling because they think they're going to make it happen or they're going to force something to happen and they're constantly doggy paddling, they're exhausted and they age accordingly. So if you want to age well, the real secret is not genetics. It's really about whether or not you choose to struggle or float. And I hope you choose to float. By the way, your health will be better instantly and forever if you choose to float. Health problems come when you force yourself to struggle. So guardians of the Western Gateway, we welcome you here in our circle tonight at Yule on this sacred evening when we actually celebrate the return of the light. Even though we are in the depths of darkness, right? This is the longest night of the year. And yet, starting tomorrow, what happens? Light will overcome, right? Light always prevails. And so we welcome you, guardians of the Western Gateway, teaching us to float tonight, which we appreciate. And then last but not least, guardians of the Northern Gateway. We come to you, we embrace you. We are so grateful for you and your wisdom, your strength, your protection, your grounding. Thank you for taking care of us all year long. Thank you for taking care of us tonight. Thank you for teaching us the ways of your tree people and your crystal people. The ancestors and their bones have all this wisdom, stored wisdom to share with us. And we're so grateful for it. And we just are awed by your presence tonight, guardians of the Northern Gateway. This is your season, guardians of the North. And we recognize it, and so we share the winter blessings with you, and we appreciate your presence. And with that, the 4 directions are held. Our circle is open, and I'm ready for a ritual. I don't know about you. Okay. So tonight's ritual is all about recentering yourself in your inner wisdom, in your intuition, and your inner knowing. That's what tonight is all about. That's what that art was trying to summon within you. You need to return, and you need to anchor yourself in what you know to be true, and what you know is accurate. And you need to learn how to trust your own intuition and follow it above all other counsel, for it will never lead you astray. If you truly spend your whole life listening to that inner voice, you'll always be right on time. You'll always be right where you're meant to be. It's when you resist that voice because it's not telling you what you want to hear, or it's not telling you something easy. Those are the moments when you get led astray. So tonight is all about the sacred return. Are you ready to return? I am too. And so I want you to bring your entire attention to your third eye. Bring your seeing eyes, close your seeing eyes, and imagine just focusing your vision right there. Imagine even bringing your heartbeat to the third eye, bringing your breath to the third eye. Bring every bit of your energy and your attention and your focus. And then I want you to imagine the universe sending a big, bright beam of indigo light directly to your third eye tonight, channeling to you, sending to you, communicating to you, gifting you with wisdom and insight and information and guidance that you need in order to live your life fully and bravely and fearlessly into 2018. Can you do that? Bring your full attention right here to that third eye. And again, if you want a beautiful visual of what I'm talking about, it's this pineal gland right here, which is your third eye, the actual structure of your third eye within your physical brain. And as you bring your vision and your attention and your intention right into your knowing eye, I want you to imagine it as a beautiful, bright, glowing indigo jewel. Just a beautiful, faceted gem. You can imagine it as a sapphire, a glowing sapphire, or a beautiful, glowing tanzanite gem, maybe. Whatever indigo stone you love, a beautiful, faceted iolite would be gorgeous too, or a beautiful cut azurite. You can even just imagine it as an azurite. Just give that, just a visual right there too. Bring all of your energy, all of your attention, all of your focus right here. And I want you to notice the way that center of knowing is glowing for you right now. It's glowing because it has wisdom to share with you. It has information that you need access to. And tonight, this Yule night, we're going in to retrieve. Are you ready? So Great Spirit, Goddess, Father, Mother, God, we are so grateful to be here in your presence tonight in this sacred circle, this beautiful container of souls who gather from around the world to celebrate this most ancient holiday. Seriously, one of the most sacred holidays ever in the history of humankind, Yule is. And so tonight we gather to reconnect. Tonight we gather to recenter ourselves. Not in our heart, not in our mind, but tonight we are recentering in our deepest well of inner wisdom. Tonight we are centering ourselves and anchoring ourselves in the third eye. And I want you to imagine that jewel now. It's tiny, right? You've been imagining a little tiny jewel. I want you to expand that jewel now so that it takes up almost all of your forehead. And imagine it's still glowing, it's beautiful light. And expand it even more and push it outside of your third eye now and let it move out before you and just see this beautiful, huge indigo glowing jewel just pulsing right from your third eye out right in front of you so that you can see it and feel its warmth, its glow. And I want you to imagine that this beautiful jewel becomes a transmitter and a receiver. So not only is it able to send information, it's able to receive information for you too. So the first thing I want you to do is ask this big, beautiful jewel on this sacred Yule night when we turn within. I want you to ask this jewel to show you what wisdom you need to know right now. Spirits of the Ajna, the third eye, we call upon you tonight to show us what we do not see and do not know, but yet need to understand. Show us the visions, show us the places, show us the people, show us the concepts and the information, show us the conversations that need to take place. Show us where we're supposed to go and what we're supposed to do and who we're supposed to be with or work with. Allow us to see behind the curtain of illusion to what is clear and what is true and what is accurate for each of us. And watch as that jewel just calls in information, wisdom, insight, understanding from all directions. It's calling in from above and it's calling in from below. It's calling it in from source and it's pulling it up from the very roots of the earth. It's calling it in from your spirit guides. It's calling it in from your family and your friends and your community. Literally, I want you to feel the volume of information and insight and information that's coming to you right now. And I want you to ask your guides one simple request, which is, help me integrate it. As this wisdom comes to you, set the intention tonight on this Yule night that even if you don't consciously become aware of what they're showing you, that you will receive it, you will integrate it, it will become part of you. It will move beyond even your conscious knowing to a much deeper layer and level and place of understanding within you. Set that intention tonight. Let that beam, let that transmitter and that receiver just receive from all directions and let it transmit to you. And let your entire energetic system just integrate. If it's wisdom about your spiritual practice, integrate it at the crown chakra. If it's wisdom about your intuition, integrate it here at the third eye chakra. If it's wisdom about your truth or your voice in life, in the world, integrate that here at the throat chakra. If it's wisdom about love, your relationship maybe, integrate that here at the heart chakra. If it's wisdom about your power, and your self-esteem and your presence, integrate that at the solar plexus. If it's wisdom about passion or love or lust or creativity or procreativity, if it's wisdom about fertility or children, let's integrate that at the sacral chakra. And if it's wisdom about protection, comfort, safety, let's integrate that at the root chakra. And take just a couple of minutes here to notice what information is coming in. What's it about? Where's it coming from? Maybe you don't need to know. Sometimes you don't need to know the source of the information. You just need to understand the information itself. But ask yourself, what's coming in? Where is it coming from? And how do I integrate it? What's coming in? Where is it coming from? How do I integrate it? What's coming in? Where is it coming from? How do I integrate it? Because again, your work is to do all of this integration before the new year. That's why we're doing this tonight, so that you move into that new year, 2018, ready to go with no baggage, because you've integrated, you've released, you've accepted, you've surrendered, you've become. And keep in mind, these solstice points are points of universal integration. Tonight is the universe's own integration, right? These are the points when the sun stands still in the sky. Solstice comes from the Latin words sol sistere, which means sun standing still. And so these are points where the universe itself is finding balance and integration and alignment. And so if what we are to do in magic is mirror nature, tonight the only work we have to do is stand still and be in the middle of both, the wisdom, and the folly, right? The light and the shadow. We have to stand in the middle of both, because we are both. We can't ever become fully one or the other. The real work of spirituality is to integrate and become and allow and receive and integrate both together. That's what we're doing tonight. And now you've been receiving, right? Hopefully you're just being washed in a tidal wave of good information, good wisdom, good insight. Now let's transmit. Are you ready? What messages do you have for others? And you may not even be consciously aware, but Great Spirit, God, Goddess, Spirit Guides, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Guardian Angels, if we have wisdom that we need to share with others in our life, we ask now that you work through the same channel to transmit that wisdom, that information to whoever needs it right now, for their highest good, for the highest good of all beings. So it is. And again, just imagine that jewel sort of just sending. And it can be sending beautiful things for you. It can be sending messages of love and appreciation. This is your chance to say thank you, thank you, thank you, right? Or it can be, you can let your spirit guides, maybe you have an intuition about someone and you're not even aware of it. Maybe they can pass that information along if it's for the highest good. And as long as you set the intention that whatever is communicated is for the highest good, that's your responsibility. So again, ask your spirit guides only to transmit any information through you that is in the service of the highest good of those who will receive it. There's a beautiful sort of circular motion to the energy tonight. It's like a beacon that we're creating. Do you feel it too? It's like this beacon of light that first it was going around and collecting information almost counterclockwise, and now it's going out and sending information clockwise. Like, what a beautiful flow of information and communication to be in. I love that so much. And by the way, the essential oils in your Yule perfume and your Silent Night perfume are both created to support this work. And so if you love this process of like sending, receiving, that's something you can continue just by working with your perfumes all year long. It doesn't have to be just tonight. So this ritual can be one that you continue for many months to come. And spirit guides, ancestors, higher self, ascended masters, archangels, light beings of all kind. If there's anything else that we need to send or receive, let us do that now. So do one more sweep of receiving, 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 sending, sending, sending. Now I want you to imagine pulling all of that light back into you again now. Pull that jewel, let that jewel become smaller now, still glowing but smaller, and pull that back into your pineal gland so that it's integrated into your physical body as well as your etheric body. And then pull all of the wisdom and information, gather it almost like it's in a basket, right? Pull it all, call it all into you, all that information, and hold it. All the wisdom and the knowledge and the insight that you gathered tonight, I want you to call it all in right now, wrap it in your arms, and hold it right here. Because you know what? This is your gift. This is your holiday gift from the universe. The delivery was right on time, wasn't it? It delivered it right to your door. Free shipping from the universe. This is your gift. What is more important than wisdom? And I recognize the irony in telling you this as someone who's named for Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. I recognize the irony in this, so maybe I'm biased. But what greater gift in the world, in the universe, is there than wisdom and foresight? If you know what's happening and you know what is to come, you can make better decisions. You can form stronger relationships. You can be more discerning in those relationships. You can invest in them more wisely. If you notice, the most elegant people in life are also the most intuitive because they're always functioning on the basis of their intuition. They're rarely anxious or agitated because they just have a sense of what's coming. They're not caught off guard. And so if you want to live your life that way, more elegantly, let's say, not as swayed by the day-to-day or the moment-to-moment, but more anchored in the bigger picture of what's arriving and what's becoming, your intuition is the only key to that. And that, my friends, is the source of peace at the season of Yule. So hold this gift. Hold it in your hands. How does it feel to hold wisdom? How does it feel to embody that wisdom, to call it in to you? How does it feel to sit with it and let it penetrate your energy field? How does it feel? Can you imagine if you truly felt as if you knew everything that you needed to know right now in order to live your best life? That is my wish for you tonight. My wish for you tonight at this sacred holiday, and always, truly, is that you know everything you need to know to live your best life. Amen, aho, and so it is. So good. All right, now I want you to gather up your stones. This little azurite's become my friend. Let me have to wire up him and wear him. Gather up your stones. I like to put them in my left hand, cover them with my right hand. Spirit guides, those who have accompanied us on this sacred journey tonight, we ask that you send any additional insight, wisdom, foresight, information into these stones and lock it there. Help these stones to anchor that wisdom and that knowing so that these become sacred tools for us that carry and hold that vibration. Help us to discern and receive that wisdom in perfect time. Maybe we're not ready for it tonight, and so that's why we let these stone allies hold a little bit of it for us so that when we are ready to receive, they'll be there. They'll be there anchoring that wisdom. The guides are very tender. They show you what you need to know when you know it, when you need to know it. I have such a warmth in my heart right now. I hope you do too, like such an overwhelming sense of peace. As if everything is just perfect right now as it is. There's nothing to change, nothing to fix, nowhere to go, nowhere to be. Just all as it is right now. And being able to really see the beauty of that. I have a heart full of that right now, and I hope you do too. If you don't, take a moment here and breathe and let yourself just fully be with what is. Nothing to change, nothing to fix. Even you, nothing to change, nothing to fix. Nowhere to be, nowhere to go. That's the medicine of winter. Why do you think we get snowed in? Because you need to stop. You need to breathe. You're not meant to run and chase and push and crawl and scratch your way to peace. You are meant to glide and flow and float your way to peace. And it really can be that effortless. It truly can, but it's a choice that you make. Are you making a different choice tonight? I think you are. I'm excited for you too. And so if you're ready to commit on this Yule evening, all you have to do is say right now, I am ready to float. I'm ready to float. I'm not going to struggle anymore. I'm almost about to cry with you right now. I don't know why. I have a little tea. Are you ready to float? It's your time. If you're ready to float, I'll float with you. Great Spirit, let my brother and sister and I float together. Teach us the ways of ease and flow and allowance and surrender, as it is your way. Model it for us and help us to embody it with grace in every moment. With love, with gratitude for you, with appreciation for all that you are and all that you bring to my life, to our community. Aho, aho. And on we go. The work continues. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Are you feeling more connected? Now give yourself what I call a somatic experience of this moment. Your body recognizes emotions and states of being, states of awareness, states of consciousness. Your body can recognize it. And once it does and it locks a memory, it can learn how to get back here. So let's say this feels really good to you right now, but an hour from now you're going to be back at your, day-to-day and the cares of the world. Give yourself a touchstone, whether it's the scent of the Yule perfume, because that's what perfumes really do. If you smell a scent of a perfume 7 times and you associate it with a particular state of consciousness, your entire central nervous system will realign itself to that state of awareness and consciousness when you smell that smell. That's why the olfactory system in your brain is so flippin' powerful. It's one of your most powerful senses. It always will be. It always has been. It's one of the oldest parts of your brain. So whether you want to use scent to lock that memory, a stone to hold the essence of that memory, whatever tool you want to use, remember what this feels like. And may you always be able to return swiftly to this place of centered peace. And so let's release the energy of our circle together, shall we? It's always hard to do. We thank you, guardians of the gateways, for attending us today, being present to us, lending us your beautiful energy and perspective and frequencies and vibrations. We're so grateful. We release the energy of the circle from our right hand and let it just sort of flow counterclockwise back to our left hand. When it does, you can turn your hand upside down and anchor that energy down into the center of the earth, returning it to Gaia, to Pachamama. She can hold it. She knows where to send it. Guardians of the Northern Gateway, we give thanks for your presence tonight, the courage that it took for us to be strong and to find our center again. The direction of north is all about finding your center, finding your due north, your true north. And so thank you for helping us find our center in our intuition again tonight. Thank you for lending us the wisdom of the ancestors and the ancients. Thank you for lending us the crystal people and the essence of the tree spirits in our perfumes. We release you with gratitude from your service to the circle this evening. Guardians of the Western Gateway, thank you for the tears that a few of us shed as we contemplate the many ways in our lives that we're struggling now, but we don't need to. And so thank you for showing us the path to ease and flow tonight. We release you from your service to the circle. Guardians of the Southern Gateway, thank you for the passion and the stamina it has taken to move through the cycle of this year with grace. We release you from your service to the circle tonight with gratitude. And last but not least, guardians of that Eastern Gateway, thank you for helping us turn over a new page tonight, a new leaf toward ease, letting us rely on our intuition and our innermost wisdom in order to find a place of deep and abiding peace within, in the season of peace and rest. We release you from your service to the circle with gratitude. And with that, my beautiful friends, our last ritual circle of 2018 is closed. What an incredible journey it's been with you this year, and how truly blessed I have felt to be your guardian of these beautiful and sacred spaces. Thank you for entrusting me to lead you and guide you I'm very grateful for you. I love you truly from the bottom of my heart. I wish you peace. I wish you rest. I wish you ease. And I hope that you float through the rest of this year and all the way through 2018. May floating become second nature to you. That's my wish for you now and always. May we learn to float together. My smoke is going northwest, which makes so much sense. And those tears were coming, but they were anchored in a strength that has gotten me through many challenges. You know, I think one of the highest compliments anyone can ever pay to me is to acknowledge my strength. I am very strong. I've been through a lot in my life, and very little can shake me. I wish the same for you. I wish that you have an enduring sense of strength and power within, that you can rely on, that you can turn to, and that you can trust in times of difficulty. And I hope that you receive that from our community as well. We try to be that for each other. You know, we're here to, not beautiful how the smoke is passing. You need to be like that. You need to move like smoke. See how that smoke, it's not asking your permission. It's not asking you where it should go. It's just flowing. It's not questioning where or how fast it's flowing or whether it should be flowing. It's just following the path of least resistance. And that is the medicine of Yule. I don't think I could have given you a more beautiful example of it, actually. All right, everyone. Well, I want to take a moment. I want to send the beautiful energies that we've raised tonight of peace, of flow, of ease, of floating. I want to send those energies out to our entire planet, everyone on the planet tonight. I hope it's blanketed in a beautiful white blanket itself of peace and inner knowing and strength that comes from understanding that you are strong and you can make a different choice in every moment. Every moment is a new opportunity for you, but tonight is a new opportunity. This is the great turn of the wheel. And so why not start this season with a commitment to honor your own ability to be in a state of surrender and to find an incredible sense of peace and strength there. You know, as we said in the beautiful art for the Silent Night kit, and I love that I wrote this quote and it resonated with so many of you. I love that. So we ended up making the art for it, but I love that you loved it too. You know, wisdom speaks, right? Wisdom has a voice, it speaks. Power is more quiet. Power has nothing to prove, right? Power whispers. Fear yells because fear is afraid. Fear has to yell and be loud and noisy and rude and all those things because fear understands that it has no basis in reality. So in order to be heard, fear has to yell at you. But truth doesn't speak. Truth is silent. And that's because truth speaks for itself. For me in my life, silence has been a very powerful, magical tool. I have taught it to people. I have learned it well. Never fill the silence around you. It's a gift to you, and it's actually the source of your greatest truth. May you always find peace and comfort there. Aho, my brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for spending your Yule with me. I hope you enjoy this ritual. I hope you are blessed in every moment as we move from this sacred holiday through the finish of the year and into 2018. I look forward to all of the magic that we will work together then. Aho. I'll see you soon.